Hello my friends and welcome back to another weekly video. Today we will talk about SAP Variant Configuration, covering a third-party process. So it means that we will take care of the SD side as well as the MM side. This was a very requested topic during the last month, so check it out. Have you seen my last video? It was related to SAP purchasing discounted kinds. Check it out. Also, if you don't want to miss any of these videos again, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Hello and welcome back to another weekly video. Today we are going to talk and explain SAP Variant Configuration in Material Management and as well in SD. For this we are going to demo and to show all the customizing related to a third-party process where the material is a material that is configurable. This process is mainly used in production planning, okay, and it can be very complex. But in our demo, we're going to show a simple functionality in MM and SD without the PP module. So variant configuration is useful if you have a large number of combinations of parts that goes into a product. It means different permutations and combinations of the parts of the same material. For example, a customer can order in a computer where he can choose different combination of monitors, CPUs, keyboard, speeds, etc. Or a customer can order a car and he can choose different combination of accessories, colors, transmission, etc. Variant configuration is a tool which improves information exchange between sales, engineering, production, and as well as purchasing. It also helps person from sales to put together specifications for the product, so the product can be produced from these specifications, or in our case, it can be purchased. And as we said, variant configuration is for manufacturing complex products, which contains various characteristics and variants. For example, here we can see that we will have a material master record that could be the car, and in the classification view of the material master, we're going to assign a class. That could be like the class C car. And we know that inside the class, we will have to define all our characteristics. In this case, we can see here, for example, engine, extras, wheels. These are the characteristics that are linked to the class. And each characteristics will have different values. For example, engine, we have 1600 cc, 1800. For the extras, we can have ABS, cruise control, heat seats, or with colors, we can have red, black, etc. So all these are characteristics, and these are the values of the characteristics. These are normal characteristics with each values, but we can also have reference characteristics, and these one are characteristics that refers to tables and fields. Tables and structures whose fields values can be changed by dependencies. For example, to get the values from SD, we will use the structure SDCOM, SDCOM, that this is the communication structure between SD and the variant configuration. In the same way, we will use MMCOM, that is a communication structure between MM and the variant configuration. And finally, we will also use as dependencies, we will use the configuration profile, and we will define dependencies for a procedure. Okay, so configurable profile is used for assigning one or more variant classes to the material. A configurable material can have several profiles, and profile is selected during configuration or according to priority. For example, in the configuration profile, you can allow some values in combination with others or restrict some of them. Okay, we are not going to use the PP solution, so we are not going to show the BOM and routings. So in the next topic, we will see all our master data. Hello, now we are ready to start with our demo. So before starting with our master data, let me introduce the scenario that we want to test. Let's suppose that we sell hamburgers, but we do not produce it. We have to buy from a vendor. So we are just in the middle. So we take the order by telephone, and then immediately we pass the order to a vendor that produces and ships to our customer the hamburgers. Okay, and we want to make a difference between this intermediation. So for us, we're going to use a class for the hamburger. The hamburger will be also our material. And we're going to create two characteristics. One for the type of bread, and we will have values as white, whole wheat, and multigrain. And then we will have another characteristics for the type of sauce. And here we will have ketchup, mustard, and barbecue. And then we will have our prices. So our base hamburger, that is only, let's say, the meat, it will be $3 our purchasing price, and we are selling this by 4. And then here we will have all our prices for the different values. For example, for a bread that is multigrain, we are selling this at $3.50, and we are paying for that to our vendor $3. Okay, so if you can see, we will have like $1 or 50 cents as our markup. And here we will have our SAP codes for our class and for our characteristics. So the first step then will be to create our characteristics. So let's go and jump into the system. So if we want to go to the classes and characteristics, we go to the classification system, master data, and here we will have our characteristic that we need to create. So set bread 1 will be the characteristics, bread type, let's say 30 characters, and then we will pass these values. Okay, so this is our characteristics set bread 1. In the same way, now create another one for the sauce. So set sauce 1, we're going to create that one. Sauce type, character format of 30, and then we need to introduce our values. Okay, so now we have our two characteristics. Okay, so now let's create a class set hamburger1 hamburger, and here we need to mention with characteristics are linked, set bread1 and set sauce. Okay, status, that's fine. And now we create our class set hamburger1. As we mentioned also in the overview, we will need to create reference characteristics to take our values from mmcom and sdcom. Okay, so now we're going to create our reference condition. So set variant condition, one will be for variant condition state of release, and here we need to take the reference for mmcom, the structure, and field vkond. Okay, we can do this as no display, and you see here it was taken from the dictionary. Okay, the format. So we can save this one, and then we are going to create one for SD variant condition SD, and we're going to do the same here. We have to reference the SD communication structure, the same field, and no need to display this one. Okay, so then we have these two characteristics that we will need to include as well in our class. Our class is class type 300. This is for variant. Okay, so here in characteristics, then we will have our two reference characteristics as well. And now this is our class. Good. So now let's go and create a material master. We can use semi-finished. Let's select some views. We are not doing any planning, so no need for MRP as well. Accounting. Plan 1000, sales org 1000, distribution channel 10. Okay, so this will be our hamburger. Eaches, material group, we can just take any one. Semi-finished is fine. Now in basic data 2, what is important, we need to make this material as configurable. Okay, so our material type is HALB, semi-finished. So this field can be active or inactive. It is inactive by default. In PP, you can use also material type KMAT, and this is the material type for configurable products. So there, this flag is always active. Then we go in our classification tab, and we will need to make the link, the class set hamburger1. Okay, And here we have our two characteristics. The other two, the reference characteristics, are not shown because we said that they will be hidden. Okay, they will not be displayed. So let's complete also the sales view. As we're going to use a third-party process, then we need to use the item category group bands. Okay, this is for third party. Let's complete some data, even we are not going to use all of this. Purchasing group 001. We can put some processing time as well. We are not going to do any planning, so we can put ND. And then standard valuation classes, set 7900. Let's do just average of 3. So okay, now we create our material, number 337. So we create so far the characteristics, we create 4 of them, then we create a class, we link the 4 characteristics to our class, then we create a material, and we link the class to our material, okay? Now we need to include or create our profile. Okay, so for this material, we're going to create a profile 1 with class 300. So here we have to link our class, okay, set 100. Yeah, from here, the object dependencies, we need to create our procedure, okay? So here we have to basically create our code to pass the values to the characteristics. So I already written the code for all of them. We will take a look now. But basically what we are saying that our reference characteristic will take the value white if the condition for the bread is white. It will take the value whole wheat if the characteristic for the bread is whole wheat, and in like that. So we have to do the same one for the variant condition, and the same thing we have to do for SD variant condition. So basically we are passing the values to the conditions, okay, to the variant, based on the value that we are selected in SD and in Okay, and we have to check always the code. Okay, here the one is missing. Okay, let's check the code again, and that's it. So we can save it. Okay, so now we create our configuration profile. Okay, so now we need to create our info record. So for our vendor 5000, material, purchasing organization, and plant, we're going to create this info record. Let's populate some data. We said that the base price for the hamburger is 3. Okay, and here you see that we have the variant condition tab now. Okay, so if we go to variant condition, then we need to specify all the values, and we're going to use the standard condition type VA00 that is based on quantities. Okay, so for all these values, and you can see these are the values, and the prices is 1, 2, 3. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and then 0.5, 0.5, 1, and 1.5 for our part 337. Okay, so now we have our material with our variant, the values, okay, and the different prices, and we can save. Okay, you can see that also these conditions that we just create on the info record screen, you can also create or change in MEC 1, 2, 3, where we can maintain variant BA00, info record with plant, and from here you can see that you will have as well where you can maintain all the values. So okay, this is from the purchasing side. Now if we want to maintain the prices for sales, so we will maintain as well VA00, sales organization distribution channel, our material. So we have these values, and here we have 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, so 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and then 1, starting with 1 in increments of 50 cents. Okay, so here we have our sales price for these values. We can save, and then we also need to maintain the condition PR00 for, that is for our base sales price. So 337 4 condition record save. So now we are done with all our master data. So a quick recap: we create 4 characteristics, 1 class, then the class was linked to a material master that we just create, a semi-finished product, and then we maintain all the variant conditions in the info records for the purchasing side, and then we maintain also the variant condition for the selling side. Okay, so now let's go to the step-by-step section. Okay, let's start now with our step-by-step demo. So the first thing is that we're going to take the order. So let's say that one customer called us and want a hamburger. So this is our customer 90, and the order is number 154. And he's asking for our hamburger, 1 unit, in plant 1000. And you see now we are going to the configurator, and he wants the bread type white and the sauce type mustard. You can see that this will be item category TAS. This is third party. Okay, so in the back this will create automatically a purchase requisition, then it will be converted to a PO. We have already explained in another video all the customizing behind the third-party process. So you can also check that out. So if you can see also here, we have the base price 4 and then a net price of 7. Okay. So we see that the sale price is 4 just for the hamburger. So if we go to the conditions, we have our base price as 4. And then we have mustard, our sauce, mustard, and it is 1.5. And then we have the bread as white, and white is also 1.5. So it is $3 plus the 4 that is just the meat. Okay. So this is our first order, and we can save it. So order 1.1 was saved, and we can take a look at this order. And from the item, we can go to the schedule lines, and here we will see our purchase requisition number. From the sales order, we can also take a look at the configurator values, and here we said that is white and mustard. So let's go now to our purchase requisition. And you can see in the material data view, we have our value white and mustard. So these values are transferred automatically. The account assignment, you will see this is related to our sales order. And as delivery address, we will have the information from the customer. Okay, this is the address from the customer. So our vendor will prepare the hamburger and ship immediately to our customer. So let's now convert this requisition into a PO. There are many ways to do this. Let's just take one of them. So we can show here our purchase requisitions. This is the last one. Okay, material, plan, this is fine. Okay, so we drag and drop it here, and we close the overview. So okay, now this is our PO, and we see that the price comes automatically. We can check here again our data. We still have white and mustard. And let's check our conditions. Okay, we have the base price for the meat is 3. Okay, and then we have for the bread white is €1 and mustard is another euro. So we have mustard €1 and white another euro. Okay, so total it will be 5. Okay, so this is our PO, and here we have our sales order. Okay, so it was 7, we are selling by 7, and we are buying by 5. So our benefit is €2 just for taking the order and pass it automatically to our vendor. Okay, we can save it. Good. Now let's do another one. Let's use the same customer number. Now the order is 154. Our hamburger 1 unit in the same plant. And now instead of white, let's use multigrain. I think it's the most expensive, and also the sauce type barbecue. So now let's check the prices. So the base is 4, as in the other case. And now we have the total of 950. Okay. So if we see, now we have multigrain is 350 and barbecue is 2. So it is 550 additionally. Okay, that is the difference here. And we can check the prices in the item conditions. So we have the bread multigrain as 350 and the sauce barbecue as 2. Now in the same item, if you do not save, you can still, if there was a mistake, you can go and change. Now let's change to ketchup. Okay. So we have ketchup. And now you see it's 850. Okay, it was reduced by 1. So we see the condition for the ketchup. Now it is, we're selling this by 1. Okay, yes, our cost is 0.5. So we can say this order, 142. And let's go and create the PO for this order. Now we can make the, okay, we need the requisition first. Okay, let's go again to display. And let's take the requisition number. And from here, then we can create our PO based on the requisition. And we can see that now our cost is 6.5. Let's check the configuration values. We have multigrain with ketchup. That is the same that we have in our order, multigrain with ketchup. And here in our PO, our conditions are 3 for the base price of the meat, and then 0.5 for the ketchup and 3 for the multigrain. So this is multigrain 3 and for the ketchup 0.5. Okay, so in this case we are selling by 850 and then we are creating a PO by 650. Okay, so €2 of difference, and we can save. So this is an easy example of how variant configuration works in sales, and in this case it was not related to a production system where you normally from the sales then you run MRP and it will create plan order that will convert it to production order, and then all the production process will go from there. In this case, we want to show a third-party process where we have SD pricing and variant configuration in conjunction with purchasing. Okay.
Have you enjoyed this video? If so, please subscribe, like, and comment. Don't forget to turn on notifications. I see you next time. Bye.